All right. It is finally Saturday. Oh, I get one more day off. Hey, Trin, I'm gonna fix it up in a minute. I'm gonna fix you up in a minute. Um, yeah, it's finally the weekend. It's been a long week for me. Now, give me a few minutes, you guys, to put this out on the social media and take care of Trin, and I'll be right back. And let me share this. And we're done with this part. So let me switch back. I saw that comment when I was on Panorama computer when I made you a moderator and I was getting the link. I saw that. Yeah, I can't. I was. Let me get this put out on social media because this is looks like oh BBB. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How is? Okay. Well, that's all right. All right. Yeah, I saw that comment. Yeah, I was working on that guy's. When I first set up his TV, that thing started talking to me, and I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting really pissed because this thing is talking back to me. And then this, he doesn't have an internet connection, so I'm trying to bypass that part of it where it's connected to the internet. Oh my goodness! It was just, yeah, yeah. And then when I had to go back, the customer went back and he was pressing buttons on the remote control, and put it, he took it off the wrong input. He put it on HDMI or one of the other inputs, and I went back there and he called me up and wanted me to come back up there to him and set his TV back on the right so he could watch TV. And that thing was talking to me when I was trying to. When I turned the TV back on again, he was talking to me. I said, "Shut up." Those smart TVs can be a pain in the ass to set up. Yeah, just like some people, Trin. Some people just don't know how to shut up either. But that's beside the point. That's the two. That's the two fleas right there. That's the two fleas right there. They run their damn mouth for 8 months now, 9 months, and then when they got served, oh, we're a victim. We're the victim. We're a victim of Jeremy Hales. How can you call yourself a victim? You're not a victim of what Jeremy is. You opened your mouth and publicly defamed him for what, 8 months now? Going on 9 months now? You keep opening up your mouth. You keep defaming Jeremy. And then when you got served twice, she said she didn't get served. She said she didn't get served. She's saying that they put the wrong name on the papers. But we all know, we've all publicly seen what her legal name is. She's dodging, is what she's doing, Trin. She's trying to dodge it. You know, she's just trying to dodge it. And then she's going to cry victim because she got served twice. And EMS and I were talking about this yesterday in their live stream about their live stream yesterday on the other day. They sit there and deliberately dodged. They deliberately dodged their deposition. They dodged being served. And then she said in her live stream, "Oh well, the judge is going to be sympathetic towards the defense." If I were the judge, I wouldn't be sympathetic about with you. You dodged being served twice. You all dodged doing your deposition. Why would I be sympathetic? If I was a judge, I'd throw the damn book at you. That's contempt of court. And now you're fucking with a federal judge, a federal magistrate. Oh, these federal magistrates don't play. Even the city magistrate here doesn't play. If I file a warrant, if I take a police report and want to file a warrant, well, they put your name up in that computer real fast. And then they actually put the warrant out on you. Because that happened to me when I was attacked here in my building several years ago. I knew who the guy was, and I filed a police report. And I got a copy of the. You have to go to the process of doing that is okay. So the guy attacked me, so I called 911 and I filed a police report. And they're all lying on his side, so I went down because the police headquarters is right across the street from. It's one block up from where the bus terminal is for the city buses. So I walked over. I paid the $5. I don't know how much it is now. I got a copy of the report. Then I took another bus out to. The Birmingham City Jail because that's where the magistrate's office is. And I gave him the report and the pictures from the camera. Hey, Greta. So I went over to the magistrate's office, which is in the city jail. I gave him the reports and the video from the cameras and the picture that the manager made of the bruise on the side of my hip. Boom. Automatic warrant. Well, time had passed. They haven't. Birmingham police, didn't do anything for a long time about it. And I happened to go over to the post office, and that's where my friend was working for the post office back then. And I said something to her about it, and there just happened to have been a detective from the Birmingham police, the precinct over here, and I gave him the information, and he said, "Give me your telephone number, and I'll call you." So I came back here, and I waited for his phone call. I gave him the information. As soon as I gave him that information, the Birmingham police was downstairs looking for him and had his picture pulled up on their computer. Justice can be slow. The process of warrants can be slow, but I'm just saying they never arrested. They never did. They never arrested him. He went down to the magistrate and paid all the fines. You know, he paid to get out of jail. He bonded out, I guess. He bonded out of it. And then when he went to court, finally went to court, they gave him. He had to take an anger management class, but you know that costs money. So he didn't get away with it. He didn't get away with it. If he had to go to an anger management class and complete an anger management class, then he didn't get away with it. He had to pay for what he did. And I'm the same way as Jeremy. Look, if these people are doing all this shit about Jeremy and saying all this shit about Jeremy, then they should be taken to court. And I believe that Jeremy is doing the right thing. Jeremy is doing the right thing. He's handling it through the court. But they want to make a big deal. It's like EMS said yesterday. These idiots, the two fleas, Ray Bonecrusher, Stupid Dave, all of them, they see it as a joke. They're playing it off as a joke. You know, they're dodging the deposition, they're dodging being served, and they think it's a joke, but it's not a joke. And one day I think they're going to realize, oh, I fucked up. Exactly. They're going to find out, and they're going to fuck around and find out. They're going to find out that this isn't a joke, that Jeremy is serious about it. They actually said she actually said in their live stream that they were going to win. That they had they had evidence that everything was going to be told to the judge and they were going to win. And then asked if Jeremy was going to give an apology when they win because he's going to be proven wrong. That's funny. Yeah, that's good. That's real funny. They think they're actually going to win something. Because 5 will get you 10. They don't have any evidence. But if they do have any kind of evidence, it's going to be so irrelevant to the case that the judge is going to laugh at them. Exactly, Trin. I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't watch them either, Greta, but I will go on their live stream, and I won't go on their live stream, but I'll go to the live stream after, and then I will pause it, and you could open up that where it says more. You scroll down, it says see transcript, and you click that transcript, that saying see transcript. And I can sit there and go through because basically that's what I'm doing. I'm going through the transcript and just making notes on what they say, and then I can come back and comment on it later. Yeah, they sure do. They sure do have a rude awakening coming towards them. But normally I don't watch them. I'll go through the transcript because they're giving me content. And I will say this again: as long as these people are speaking bad or speaking shit about Jeremy, well, Milton's best. He's a waste of, he's just a waste of damn time, and he should know better too. He got served, and he's still running his damn mouth about Jeremy. So keep running your mouth, stupid Dave, because you're just making it worse for yourself. Because you're gonna fuck around and find out too. But yeah, like I said, when as long as these people are speaking bad about Jeremy, I'm gonna come on here and speak the truth because I'm gonna put the truth out there because I'm like Spawn. I want the truth to be put out there. I put the truth and I put the evidence out there. I'm not gonna sit there and let these people talk bad about Jeremy and then the truth, because people only hear one side of it. They only hear what the fleas and Ray Bonecrusher and them say. They don't hear what the real story is, and where I can point them into the direction of um, where the truth is. You too, Greta. Have a good one, and thank you for stopping by. I thought he was silent too, Trin, but obviously he's made videos or made live streams that be talking shit about Jeremy. You think these fucking people would have learned by now? You think if these people would have fucking learned by now that you got named in a fucking lawsuit, but yet you keep running your damn mouth? You know, I guess when brains were given out, I guess they got a bad one or a defective one. It's exactly true. They keep digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And then Ray Bonecrusher, this guy, you would think somebody of 80 something years would have common sense that when you got served, to shut up. That's two videos I made in 2 days that is posted on the channel in the anti what the hell's ecosystem playlist. You think that he got served, that he would shut up, but no. He had to open his mouth twice in just a couple days. And he's trying. From what I understand, he's trying. From what I read from that transcript, it looked like he was trying to. He was trying to deflect. Okay, he was deflecting what Michelle and John were doing to Jeremy. It's all Jeremy's. Blame Jeremy. Jeremy's the one that's stalking. Jeremy's the protection order and uh, attacking a child, going after a child, and all this other stuff. That's right. I agree with you, Trin. But this guy, I mean, he was seriously deflecting all that stuff that was being said and done by John and Michelle. He was seriously deflecting it back to. And one of the and one of the videos that he was trying to deflect the fact, he was trying to deflect it that the little girl didn't say Super Dave to try and screaming Super Dave to Travis when he was doing his live stream. He said that she was doing it at the mailbox because she got some stickers. That's bullshit. Okay, the evidence is the video. If you go back and watch Travis's video from that day, You see her at the space in the fence screaming that. You see her at the fence screaming that to to um to Travis to try and disrupt his live stream. Just like the thing with the playing the music. They deliberately tried to play music. They were deliberately playing music to try and get Travis copyright struck for the music. I guess it backfired on him. But I don't know now because when I went to the channel to upload the videos for this coming up week, so I noticed that there was a video posted out there by somebody that YouTube is cracking down on the copyright. It's about if this is true, it's about time. You know, yeah, they sit there and play music loud so that his camera microphone picks it up so they can get him copyright struck for the music. But it didn't work. But I don't know now because YouTube is really cracking down on copyright now. Exactly. And if there was a mailbox, I think there is a mailbox. I'm not sure. I think there is one by the gate, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Jeremy just came out with a video. She stole my camera. That's funny. Jeremy just came out with a video that said, entitled, "She stole my camera." Oh, these two fleas. Oh my God. I mean, I can sit here for hours and go on and go on and on and on and on about the stupid shit that they say on their live stream. But the thing is, you know, let them talk because it's like you said, Trin, they're just digging themselves into a bigger hole that they're not going to be able to get out of. You know, I think in one of my live streams, they were still going on about the fucking cameras on Jeremy's property. And then she's citing some kind of. She thought she found a statute about it, but I don't think there is. I'm rehashing this stuff because it just shows that the stupidity of these people. Okay, she still goes on and on and on about the cameras that are at Tubetown and on Jeremy's property. Well, first of all, it's none of your fucking business. Number two, there are no statutes in the state of Florida how high that a security camera can be as long as that security camera is not looking in on private parts of a home. And then they try to pull that bullshit. They try to pull that bullshit that Jeremy was filming the little girl's bedroom. That little girl doesn't have a bedroom. Exactly. They keep rehashing it. I'm sure that they're going to rehash it again soon. They keep rehashing that thing about Jeremy driving by and filming over the fence. Well, One thing is, first of all, it's a public road. It's a public road. If he is filming for his accountability, then he has that right because it's a public road. It's a public access road. And Jimmy's gonna film because how many times now have John and Michelle broken that civil protection order and made contact with Jeremy or George when they weren't supposed to? That's why Jeremy films, so he can take it to court as evidence against them. So they can take that as evidence, and then they're talking about, oh, Jeremy is driving on the wrong side of the road. Uh, I, from what I've seen of North Otter Creek Avenue near Jeremy and their property, it's only a little small 2-lane road. An 18-wheeler would have to take up the whole street just to go down the street because it's not wide enough. Then it's like I said, they want to keep talking about cameras. So they keep talking about cameras and Jeremy filming and being on the wrong side of the road to film. Okay, so how can you talk about shit like that when you purchased the cameras for Michelle's property and you are paying for those cameras on her property? Okay, and then you have control over those cameras, and you are using those cameras that are on Michelle's property to stalk Jeremy every time he goes up and down North Otter Creek Avenue. But you always accusing Jeremy of stalking and cyber stalking and all this shit. Okay, where's your proof? You make all these accusations that Jeremy's doing this and Jeremy's doing that and Jeremy's doing this. Where is your proof? Where is your factual proof? Exactly. They just say that they have. It's just like witnesses. Oh, we have witnesses of people that are being hurt by Jeremy Harrells. Okay, that those witnesses never came up on their live stream, as far as I know. And two, how do you know that these people are actually telling the truth? You accuse Jeremy. You accuse Jeremy of hurting people and hurting a family, but yet you don't have the factual proof. Where is your factual proof that Jeremy is doing these things? You saw it in a video. Okay, well, you say you have it on a video. Well, that clip is probably not going to show the truth on your side. They did a thing called the blind side. They did that blind side and that royal flush bullshit. Okay, so in the blind side, What they did was they stole Jeremy's content and made a video that publicly defamed him on his YouTube channel, on their YouTube channel. People actually believed that bullshit. And then when they did the royal flush, okay, when they did the royal flush, what they did was they used the same content that they used in the Blind Side, but they added stuff to it and publicly defamed Jeremy on their platform. You know, Jeremy, they said several times that Jeremy is aggressive and Jeremy is defensive. Well, look at what that you're putting him through. Look at look at the garbage that you are putting him through. If I was Jeremy, I'd be under a lot of stress because of what's being said about me. And and I'd be really under stress having to take it legally because now I think he's over 300. I think he said he was over $330,000 in legal fees. These people are just ridiculous. But you're going to sit there and defame him day after day after day when you get the chance. And then when you finally get served, oh, we're victims. Stop playing a victim. You can't blame this on Jeremy. Just like Michelle and John. Now, I will say this, I've seen both sides. I've seen Jeremy's side and I've seen John and Michelle's side. But the thing is, if you want help from somebody, you need to humble yourself and be nice and be respectful and ask for help. The way they did it, yeah. But the thing is, I would like to, me personally, I would like to help John and Michelle and the little child. But because I've been burned in the past trying to help people, I'm not going to do it. And I wouldn't give my money to them anyway. Yeah, but now BBB didn't run. I'm going to tell you something, Trin. BBB didn't run. That was a lie. Because look at if you have access to if you watch Megan and Tug, I don't know if they covered it or not. When John filed for a summary judgment against Jeremy, that was BBB. Because in the second part of that, he wrote a 19-page thing with that motion, trying to rehash the same thing over again. I don't think John has the smarts to do it. I don't think that they have a lawyer. I really don't think they have a lawyer. I don't think they have a lawyer representing them. It's a plot. See, when I saw that motion for John's for John for a summary judgment, I'm saying this all. When I saw the John's filing for a summary judgment and read what I read, That was BBB written all over it. I thought that he wasn't their attorney in this matter. I don't think he's the attorney on record. I don't think he's. I don't know. I really don't know. Usually, if an attorney says, I can't handle this case anymore, they step away. So I don't know, I don't know if they're allowed to come back and help them with their case if they're not the attorney on record. Yeah, I don't think that's allowed either. But yeah, when I read that motion for John filed that motion for summary judgment, I read those documents. That was BBB written. That was BBB all over. Especially when he filed that 19-page garbage rehashing the case. I know it was BBB. And it got denied too. It got removed. It was stricken from the docket because there's a stay on the first federal case. Oh my goodness. And then BBB, when I signed up before I signed up for Facebook and came on here, BBB filed a motion in the second federal case for extension of time. If I was Judge Belitho, I wouldn't give him no damn time. I don't know why these people keep filing for extension for time. You had time. You had time to get an attorney. You had time to do this. You had time to do that. Why are you filing for? Because it's like I said. It's like EMS said. Yeah, I think he got an extension in the first federal, or was it the second federal? I think it was the second federal. He asked for an extension of time. He might have got another extension. I don't have access to Pacer, and MaxLab, for some reason, is pissed off at me, and I did apologize to him. Usually, if MaxLab was on here, he would give me the documents. But going back to Bone Crusher, and the two fleas and everybody, it looks like, from what I have read and what I've gone through, the material I've gone through on here, it looks like they're trying to deflect everything back to Jeremy. It's Jeremy's fault. It's Jeremy's fault that they're exploiting a child. Yeah, I do too. I get confused sometimes between the two cases. Um, it's deflection now. That's what it looks like. It's deflection. And then in his live stream, and I believe that I said something in that video. He actually said that he didn't want to hear that it was all on John and Michelle. Okay, well, you have to understand. You have to understand something, old man. Okay, it was John and Michelle that stalked Jeremy to Otter Creek. It wasn't about saving a sick child. Anybody in their right mind, if you have a sick child, why would you move them away from hospital facilities to live on a vacant lot that's a garbage dump? I don't get that. So there's number one, we caught you in a lie. Number two, she actually admitted she was a fan of Jeremy Hales, and she used to watch his videos, his storage unit videos. Debunked. I'm going to debunk you again, Mr. Bone Crusher. At halftime, half mil time to grill. She got in without paying for it, and when she asked Jeremy to put up a donation jar or a box or something for the turtle rescue, and he said no, that's when all this shit started. He talked about that letter from the he talked about that letter from the doctor's office. Well, it's fake. It's a fake because any doctor who uses letterhead will have the doctor's name, address, telephone number, and fax number, website, all that stuff on that letterhead. This letterhead didn't even have that. I don't even know if I can still find that or not. Where the heck would I find it? But see, I asked my neighbor Carolyn the same thing. I said, even from my doctor, if he sends me a letter in the mail, it's always going to have my doctor's name, address, suite number, city, state, and zip, his telephone number, and his fax number. So that's fake. And it's so fake. I called it out. And then you got that thing with BBB's protection. Okay, that didn't sit right. So me and somebody and myself and somebody else did the research on it while I was live, and what they're saying doesn't jive. And most likely that invoice was probably a fake because you can download um, invoices and edit the invoice because I have one that I downloaded and I still use it. I just added my name and my company's name and telephone number, address and telephone number. Debunked again. I'm sure it is too. And I really don't connect with, I'm not really on those groups anymore. When I disassociated myself from the others, I also disassociated myself from certain Facebook groups because I don't want to be bothered with it. Most of the time, don't want to be bothered with it. Yeah, that letter, and another thing too, and this is my stinging. I could be wrong. Now, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But I don't think that adoption is legal. And this is why I'm thinking this way. It's because if you want to adopt somebody, a child through a family member, don't you still have to go through the process? It can be a cesspool, but then people post funny stuff on my Facebook all the time. But even if you're adopting somebody as a family member, don't you have to go through the process? I don't think you can just adopt. I don't think you could just adopt a child like that. Now, if in the event of somebody's death, you can leave that child with an adult. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as the way I'm seeing this is that don't you have to go through a process? Don't you have to be checked out? Don't you have to get a background check, ID? I agree with you, and I think that that little girl was taken illegally. Even if the mom signed the papers, like they said, she was under duress, and the father, I think, the father said that he wouldn't. He refused to do it. But they twist stuff so much on those channels, it's hard to decipher it. Unless I actually see the proof myself, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Unless I actually see factual proof that that child is was adopted legally, I don't believe it. And I think that's why the aunts hired an attorney and it got denied. And then phone call show was talking about CPS calls. Let me get something to drink and we'll get into that. Hold on. That is so true. That is so true, Trin. I'll be right back. Woof, woof, woof. Um, these people are just ridiculous. They're just plain all out ridiculous. I mean, it's deflection. At most, it's deflection. They're trying to deflect everything that's happening to Jeremy or to Travis, with that little girl, saying those things. They're trying to say that they never taught that little girl to do that. And there's a lot of behaviors, and I think Spawn kind of put it out there about behavior with these people. Um, there's a pattern. I really don't want to dig into. I wouldn't even know where to begin to dig into Michelle's past and to dig into the 30-something aliases she has. You know, she has 30-something aliases, and I have one name. I have my government name, the name that my parents gave me. And that's the only name I've used in 55 years. I don't use alias. I've never used an alias on anything. Be effective. If you look up my name and if you use white pages and you look up my name and you find my name, there are where it says also known as, it's not even listed, there's nothing listed there. But they have my parents' name as Kenneth Lucas and Lou. But the thing is, both of my father and my stepmother passed away. My father passed away last year, and my stepmother passed away several years ago. But what I'm saying is, there's no aliases. I've never used an alias. And if you do a background check, a criminal background check on me, you're not going to find anything because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm curious to find out about John Cook and Michelle. You know, I would like to find out what if I had to pay for the service just once. I forgot the name of that. What was the name of that thing that you can do background search on? I would pay the money just to find out if there were any charges against him because that'd be interesting. You can't tell me that they're innocent. You can't say that they're innocent of anything, especially John. What's his name? John Michael Cook? Hmm. John Michael Cook, Otter Creek, Florida. Okay. So I'm looking at the search results. I see the Levy County Sheriff's Office, where he got arrested back in July of last year. It's a shell thing. Here's a Facebook one from What the Hales. And the caption that he wrote on here, TC and other, both John and Lynette are dangerous to everybody in Otter Creek. I believe that. And there's the videos of TC putting out the let's see what this is. Hmm. That's interesting. Previous addresses. 151. I see Bronson, Northport, Racine, Wisconsin, Conda, Illinois, Palatine, Illinois, Wakuta, Illinois, Chicago, Schaumburg. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see that. One of these days, I'm going to do a background search. Before the end of the month, I'm going to just do a background search on John and see what it comes up. If he's been living in all those places that I just called out, there's got to be something on him. That doesn't seem right, but oh my God, how so? I'm trying to figure out how in the hell did John and Michelle meet? Yeah, exactly. And anybody that's on here, please do not contact anybody that we're talking about. Whether it be the two fleas, John and Michelle, Jeremy, Ray Bone Smoker, um, Stupid Dave, bis- broken broken can of biscuits, boy, don't contact these people. Don't contact these people. Don't make it worse. Just don't do it because you make the situation much worse than what it already is. And be careful, Michelle might call the damn cops on you. But and that's another thing I don't understand. We were talking about telephone and not contacting people. She's actually accused Jeremy's fans of calling her and doing a bunch of shit to her. Okay, well, I'll look at it later. Um, okay, cool, cool. Um, huh, that is interesting. And she keeps calling the police. She keeps calling the sheriff's office and abusing the 911 system. But how come she's never been arrested for it? Because here in the state of Alabama, it's against the law to abuse the 911 system. It's like I said, I'm curious to find out about them. She has so many alias names that I don't know if I could ever find that information. 'Cause I'm curious. I'm curious about the head flea too. She said that she's never had a criminal background. She might not have a criminal background, but I know her husband does, and it's a public record. She claims that Lisa, Lisa Rapalzi, Lisa Lee Rapalzi Weeks, or whatever the different combinations of her alias are not her name, but yet I pulled up public records. I found the public record where her and Gabe were married. So how can you sit there and lie? How can you sit there and lie and say that your husband's not a criminal when Megan and Tug and everybody pulled up that record, that public record, and showed it. And how is that doxing? You accuse people of doxing, but you do it. You dox Jeremy's documents from family about Jeremy's family. If a man wants his private life kept out of the limelight, like YouTube, Facebook, X, whatever, he has that right. You actually publicly put his information out there about him and his ex-wife. And then you're trying to use that information to harass him and defame him. It isn't doxing. It's not the case of being doxed. I have a problem with. I know it's not doxing, but what I'm saying is I have a problem with them putting that record out there in the first place. I have a problem with the two fleas putting that information out there to use it against Jeremy, to make him out to be a monster with children, that he's an abuser, and he causes mental anguish. They're trying to use that. They're trying to use that as their angle, I guess, to play victim. I don't know, but I do believe Jeremy has all that. The two fleas, you keep playing this game that you don't think that Jeremy has this stuff. Jeremy has all this stuff. Oh yeah, exactly, Trin. Exactly. I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with her posting that information out there and using it against him. If Jimmy wanted his life, his past family life, public, he would have put it public. And I do believe that he said several times that there are stuff that he wants to keep private. And I don't blame him. There's stuff that I want to keep about myself that's private. Exactly. They're being malicious about it. I read one of your emails, Trin. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's a civil case, but LNC Windsor. Jerry Biden. Look at the. I'm reading what I'm reading the that link. I'm reading from the link. Look at the names that she has on it. I took Lynette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, Preston. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Let me put this in my business stuff. And I promise, Trin, when I'm done and when I have a chance, I will respond to your comments. Yeah, I'm gonna. I bookmarked it or I saved it so we can go back and so I can go back and look at those documents. Um, and what you said in the email, I agree with you, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But look at the names that she had on that: Michelle Lacey, Michelle Lynette Lacey, Alexis Preston. Oh my goodness! No, I'm not. I'm not looking at it now. I'm just saying, look at the fucking names that she has. Jesus. That's why I think it would be hard to do a background search on her because she has so many aliases. I would have to know her real name to do the background search because I'm curious. You all can't play victim and say you're a victim when there's a past, there's a pattern. That's why I saved it. There has to be a past, and there has to be. But the behavior that's going on now with Otter Creek is the same behavior that they did in Northport. It's the same behavior. When you, if you're somebody like Michelle, okay, you're gonna display the same behavior over and over and over again. I mean, it's obvious that there's a pattern and a behavior. You know, I just can't point it out. Maybe I'm not smart enough to point it out, but I just don't. There's a pattern, and it all starts back at the very beginning with her. And I'd have to go back and watch Jeremy's videos from way back. I just don't have time. Um, yeah, this pattern goes way back. It's like you said, it goes way back to even the daughter. And if I'm correct, didn't she have one of her children removed before she moved to Otter Creek? Before she moved to Florida? And to this day, I don't care what anybody says. Okay, to this day, using Jeremy's son against him was not a good idea. Why would you involve? They involved Jeremy's son in their little ecosystem platform, and to me, I thought that was wrong. But then I could be he has the right to speak about his father. But why did you reach? Why did he reach out to? Why did he reach out to them? Like he could have reached out to Megan Fox or Tug, and when they did that, they just ran with it. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. I think it was the stepdaughter or something. But see, that shows a pattern. That a lot of what she's doing is showing a pattern. Okay, one of the patterns is I'm a victim. Well, your actions have consequences, and those consequences are coming back to bite you in the ass. You know, these idiots say, "Oh, she's not a public person; she's a private person." Okay, I'm going to bring this back up again for the reason you are not a private person. If you have a Facebook page that you are constantly posting on, Facebook is a public social media platform. If you didn't want your image of you or your daughter, then why in the hell did you post it on a public social media platform like Facebook? If you didn't want your daughter's picture being put out there on the social media, then why in the hell do you have a YouTube channel and a picture of your little girl as the avatar or the picture, the channel picture, whatever you want to call it? That makes you ran for a public office twice. That doesn't make you a private person. I'm seeing very different patterns with her, but to try and actually nail it down to just one thing is hard. Hmm. Supposedly, she lost her license. She lost her 501c3 back in September or October of last year. But from what I've heard, I think her sister or somebody got that 501c3 put back. But but that could be a lie too. I heard rumors that the two fleas were helping getting her 501c3 back. And even if you okay, if you have a 503c3 or whatever the hell that nonprofit is, you have to report income. Thank you, Trin, for clearing that up for me. As a victim, exactly. And then the two fleas are going to do the same thing. They run their mouth on their platform day after day after day about Jeremy, and then when they got served and they got named in a federal court case, oh, we're the victims. That shit doesn't fly with me. Not 100%. That shit does not fly with me. It, I'm seeing quite a bit of pattern with these different patterns with these people. I'm trying to piece this all together in my head, and there's just not enough room. Um, it's like I said before. How can you sit there and defame Jeremy every day publicly on your YouTube channel and on your platform, and then when you get named in a lawsuit and get served, which you dodged twice by saying it wasn't your name? Oh, I'm the victim. I'm a 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 victim of Jeremy. Jeremy's doing this and Jeremy's doing that to me. That's bullshit. Jeremy saw your shit and called you out on it. Jeremy saw what Jeremy saw what you were doing on your channel, and that's why he filed that. He waited and waited and waited, and as he was waiting, he was gathering evidence from people. Yeah, they're all in for a rude awakening. Even Bone Crusher, it's like I said before. I would think that Bone Crusher would have the common sense at his age to shut the fuck up because you got served that you were named in a lawsuit because you're defaming him. No, I made 2 videos in 2 days about him opening his mouth. But she actually said, that. I swear to God, I have the notes. I can go back and get my notes. She said that the judge was going to be sympathetic towards the defense once they are proven right. Well, I hope that you have pretty good damn evidence to back up your claim. Because from what I've seen and what's been going on for all this time, I don't think you have any evidence. I think what it is, they talk shit because they think they're big shots. They talk shit because they think they're big and nothing can happen to them. Jeremy can't. She actually said that Jeremy can't sue him. Lisa actually said that Jeremy would never get any money from her. Bullshit. And Ray Bonecrusher said the same damn thing about Michelle and John, that they would never get the property, they would never get anything from them. Yes. If that judge orders compensation through a judgment, they have to pay for it. And anything that they own that's worth money will be sold so that compensation could be paid out to the people. Exactly, and that's the way that I would be if I was a judge. I'd be neutral in it and only looking at what evidence is. I don't think that they have any kind of evidence that's going to be so damning against Jeremy. I think it's going to be the same bullshit evidence that Michelle presented to Judge Thomas's. And it's going to be so irrelevant that the judge is going to sit back and laugh at them. Or he's going to say, this isn't good enough. Supposedly, Trin, he was served by email. But he's actually playing it off like he was never served. Now he's playing it off like he was never served. And he's not even doing anything. I don't even think that old goat actually hired an attorney. I really don't think that old goat actually hired an attorney or consulted with an attorney on that. He's playing it. It's like I said, Trin, they're playing this off as a joke. They think that this whole thing with Jeremy is a joke. It's not a joke. It's serious. Exactly, Trin. Whatever that federal court, if they have to pay Jeremy for damages, and they had to pay people. I mean, look at when Michelle filed that frivolous lawsuit for the trespass, and then she all of a sudden had it dismissed because the case didn't have any. The thumbnail case didn't have any merit, and I mean, I sat there and read the fucking documents about that thumbnail case, and it didn't have any merit. And the video evidence proves it, that they didn't do anything wrong. But guess what? Therese and Brett are suing her for over $50,000 in damages for that lawsuit. They're exceptional, all right. They're exceptional bags of garbage. I mean, we could sit here and talk about this shit all day long. And just several different things that they think we're untouchable. It basically they're saying, well, the two fleas and them are untouchable. Bullshit. Exactly, Trin. I agree with that. I agree with that. Maybe she realized, with the thumbnail case and the trespass case, that she didn't have any evidence. But then again, they never produced any evidence in that anyway. In the thumbnail case, they never presented any evidence. I don't think, as far as I know, they never presented any evidence in it. I could be wrong. I don't think they presented, and even if they did present evidence, the fact of the matter was the thumbnails weren't being used for commercial use. And that's why she dropped it, because they were saying that her lawyer was saying that it was being used for commercial use, but then Jeremy come out and said it wasn't being used for commercial use. And now Larry Foreman, I don't know who else. Larry is, I believe Larry and somebody is, they're suing, they're suing Michelle, and I think they're suing Michelle and Stark. Exactly, I agree with that, Trin. I agree with that. I'm totally 100% agree with that. Oh, my neck is getting stiff from sitting here. I agree with you. If you're going to file a lawsuit against somebody, at least see it through. Even if you do lose, and that makes it look bad for her. It makes it look really bad because that's three cases. There was three cases that were actually dismissed. Because you forget about the thing with Judge Thomas's and what Judge Thomas's did to Jeremy when they got him removed from the case and it went to another judge. Guess what? It was dismissed. Then you had the thumbnail case. It ran for a long time without nothing, and it was dismissed. The trespass 5 thing, it was dismissed. They were frivolous. And then BBB accuses Jeremy of filing a frivolous lawsuit against John and Michelle. I'm sure he's going to file. He's going to say the same thing about the second law, the second federal case, that Jeremy is filing a frivolous lawsuit against the two fleas and Ray and stupid Dave and him. But you know what's funny? The whole two fleas, and I said something about this yesterday. I spoke about this yesterday. I'm going to bring it up because you weren't here. These two idiots, the two twat waffles, actually said that Jeremy accused BBB and her of it being some kind of conspiracy against him. Well, we all, the whole fucking planet, saw that letter, that email, saying that his intention was to create the anti-what the hells media ecosystem to take down Jeremy Hales's YouTube empire. It's plain as day. How can you sit there and deny that? How can you sit there and deny an email that was made public about that? How can you sit there and say that it's not a conspiracy when the whole fucking planet saw that email saying that your intention was to create the anti what the hell's media ecosystem and to destroy Jeremy Hales and his YouTube empire. The whole planet saw that email. So why are you going to sit there and try and deny it? You know, if I was a judge, I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion, if I was a judge and people were dodging being served and dodging giving their deposition, I'd put the fucking hammer down on them so damn hard. I would file contempt charges. And as far as BBB, if I was Judge Polito, that bullshit of not showing up and giving a bullshit excuse why you couldn't come after you had time to make arrangements, buddy, if I was a judge, your ass would be in jail. As soon as you didn't show up, I would have filed a bench warrant for your ass. And you ever watched Judge Middleton or Judge Simpson? If they don't show up for court, they will issue a bench warrant for their arrest. I believe, actually, what you said before, the judges being neutral in it. Yeah, but it's like I said, if you were ordered to come to court and be in the court and stand in front of me, and you didn't, and you filed this bullshit motion with the reason why you couldn't come, and you had plenty of time to take care of your business, son, I put a bench warrant out on your ass in a heartbeat. Yes, they do, Trin. They all should have contempt of court charges brought against them, including Michelle and John. If it's not time in jail, give them a fine, a big one. And that goes back to we're talking about contempt of court. But going on to another subject, and Ray brought this up. Ray brought this up about the signs, or somebody brought it up about the signs. They still accuse Jeremy of writing those signs. Yet, how in the fuck did he write the signs and forge her handwriting when he was in Ohio? And why would Jeremy call himself a child rapist? That doesn't make sense. But see, you seem to forget the facts, Mr. Bone Crusher, and all you idiots on the what the hell's media ecosystem side of this. John admitted in the Ohio court that she wrote the signs and they posted them. And there's a witness to it. It all doesn't make any sense. Why don't you just admit that you did it and take your damn lumps? Why are you going to sit there and perjure yourself in a court of law? Because I believe perjury in in a court case is a very heavy thing. And these idiots, the fleas, Ray, um, stupid Dave, you know that they're going to go to court and they're going to perjure themselves. Well, that's bullshit, Trin. Because he admitted yeah, exactly. But you were with her and you helped her do it. That makes you an accessory. Okay. Committing perjury in court, also known as lying under oath, is a serious offense with significant legal and personal consequences. Definition: perjury is the act of intentionally making false statements under oath in a legal proceeding. This can include lying during testimony, submitting false documents, or making false statements in an affidavit. Elements of perjury. To be convicted of perjury, the prosecution must prove that the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt: false statement, materiality, knowledge, intent under oath. The consequences. This is what I wanted to read right here. These are the consequences of committing perjury in court. Criminal penalties. Perjury is typically a felony offense, punishable by imprisonment and fines. Fines. Perjury could also result in substantial fines. Impact on other proceedings. A perjury conviction can damage a person's credibility and negatively impact their ability to participate in future legal proceedings. Professional consequences. Perjury can lead to loss of professional licenses and damage to career prospects. Social consequences. The stigma associated with perjury conviction can damage a person's reputation and social standing. And then it says here, in conclusion, committing perjury in a court is a serious crime with potentially severe consequences. It is always important to tell the truth under oath in legal proceedings. Yep, Laura Owens. And that case is hard to follow and hard to swallow. But see, that's what these. It looks like to me, from what I understand from reading transcripts and listening to these idiots, or listening to these idiots in their transcripts, sounds like they're going to try and commit perjury. That the two fleas are going to commit perjury when they get to court. That's not a good thing. It's like I read. That's a serious thing when you commit perjury in a court proceeding. And then and what's worse, you know that they're going to provide false information and false evidence because that's their MO, their method of operation. It's just like what Michelle did. She presented evidence to Judge Grudge that wasn't even relevant. It didn't even back up her story. Oh, these people make me sick sometimes, you know. Exactly, Trin. It gets you hemmed up. You know, these people don't get it, okay? And it's like EMS said yesterday in my live chat, in my live stream. These people are thinking this is a joke. They don't have to abide by what, they don't have to listen to what Randy says, and they don't have to listen to what a judge says. They're playing this off as a joke. Well, guess what? You're going to fuck around and find out that it's not a joke, especially when you get contempt of court charges put on you, or you commit perjury in that court. There she is. She's back. But yeah, it's like EMS said, welcome back. It's like EMS said yesterday. These people are playing this off to be some kind of a joke because they don't have to listen to Randy and they don't have to listen to the judge. And they're going to fuck around and find out this isn't a judge. This isn't a case where they can play it off as a joke because it's serious. So let them play this off as it being some kind of a joke because in the long run, they're going to get what's coming to them. I don't think that they actually have any kind of evidence. I don't think that they have any kind of evidence or damning evidence against Jeremy. Because if they had any kind of damning evidence against Jeremy, they would have brought it out by now. I think it's all what they call hearsay evidence. I think it's nothing but hearsay evidence. I don't think they have anything. Because the Two Fleas podcast or whatever how you want to call that, it's nothing but a joke. You know, that whole platform is a joke. You know, it's like I said before. They say that they have all these documents and all this evidence and all this proof, but haven't shown it on their channel. They say they have witnesses, but never showed it on their channel. They said that they had another recorded telephone conversation with Michelle. It never transpired because they said that they had to go through BBB to get permission to do it. But guess what? It never transpired. How many times did they try to get Jeremy arrested? How many times did they say that they were going to have charges brought up against Jeremy for certain things, but yet there's no police reports filed? There's no evidence to prove that Jeremy was committing a crime. It's just a failed storyline. Exactly. They say a lot but don't prove anything. And you have to apologize. I have to apologize that I'm trying to start back over again. So it's kind of, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. But yes, Spawn says he never opened my eyes to what was said, but he did open my eyes to what was said. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I thank him for it. Yeah, there you go. The grifters of the highest form. Exactly. Now, if I set up a gift send go, which I might do in the future, that gift send go is going to be to raise money to pay for StreamYard at least for at least a couple of years. At least raise enough money to pay for StreamYard for a couple of years. And then that money is not taken out of my pocket every month. That money will come out of that funding. Oh, what was that EMS that you said to me on Facebook? Oh, the butt hurt. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna say nothing more about it, but yeah, butt hurt. That is the magic word for today. Butt hurt. Oh, exactly, exactly. EMS grifters grifting off of each other. But I keep hearing different things about that $56,000. I heard the thing with the $56,000 that money was supposed to be donated to the barnuminium, and we're going to talk about that for a brief second because Ray made mention of it in one of his videos. But Lisa keeps saying that the money was supposed to be given to her, and it wasn't Michelle's money. So I don't know what is actually the truth behind that. I really don't know what the truth is behind that. Now, Ray, in his video, said that the interior of that barndominium was finished, was completed. I can't believe that. I want to see proof. I want to see the electrical outlets and everything and the lights and all that stuff. I want to see all that stuff. You can't finish the inside without doing plumbing and electrical and structure and all that other stuff. Drywall, insulation. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Basically, Trin, yes, I believe that she stole it and said that it was her money and said that she could do whatever she wanted with it. And the money wasn't for Michelle and John. But that's not the way I heard it at the very beginning. So I really don't know what the story is about that. But going back to what Ray said, that the interior of the barnuminium was done. Well, first I want to see proof of it. I also want to see permits. I want to see those permits that were approved by the building inspector. Because you can't build stuff like what happens if something happened? What happens if there was an electrical fire and they got trapped because of shoddy building construction? Exactly, Trin. If it was actually done, where are the videos and the pictures of it? That's why I don't believe a damn thing that they say. That's why I really don't believe a damn thing that they say. Because they're liars. They're proven pathological liars. And they're taking that playbook out of Michelle's book. They're taking a play out of Michelle's book of being pathological liars. And what gets me is these people actually fell for the bullshit that Michelle was doing. And they fell for the bullshit that she lied and they believed her. All right, it's just my opinion. Maybe my opinion ain't worth shit, but at least I try. Exactly, Trent. And see, and going back to Christmas time, when Trin mentioned it just a minute ago about Christmas. Now, that little girl, they keep telling that lie that that little girl was not welcome at Christmas in the Creek. And everybody on this planet knows that's not the truth. It's just a bald faced lie. The only reason why Harley HG, we'll say HG, didn't go to Christmas in the Creek is because the real reason they had a protection order against them. and they never made arrangements for that little girl with somebody. They could have done Thomas Collins. Thomas Collins could have taken her to Christmas in the Creek and got gifts. But the little child was welcome. Because Jimmy didn't said that he wanted everybody, he wanted all the children in Levy County to have a gift. That's why the first Christmas in the Creek, he spent all that money on toys, and then people were donating to it. Exactly. And I love the Hudson Sisters. If I'm ever through Otter Creek, Florida, if I ever ended up in Otter Creek, Florida for some reason, I would like to meet the Hudson Sisters. They seem like they're really sweet people. I would like to meet Brett and Therese. I would actually like to meet Brett and Therese Granger. Tree Stranger. And the little girl, Tree Stranger. I get it. She couldn't say Therese. The little girl said Tree Stranger because she couldn't say Teresa's first name. Okay, I can see that EMS. But the thing is, I can see that because she has to report it. Just like Grace said that people were trying to destroy her business. Well, if you're on Social Security, you can make up to so much money. There's a certain amount that you can make every year being on Social Security. Anything after that, you have to report it. And any donations, anything, any kind of money or even gifts, they have to report it. And they have to report it to the IRS. Since I'm not in business anymore, I'm in business, but since I don't take a paycheck from business, the money goes into the business. I don't have to report it because it's not my income; it's the business's income. Exactly, and then there would be any kind of amount that will actually make them pay it back too. But Ray said that they were trying to destroy her business. Well, it's like I said, you could make up to so much money. Yeah, I don't know what it is here in Alabama either. So, yeah, I don't know what it is technically in Alabama. I know that you can make so much money of income while you're on Social Security. Anything after that, you have to report it or you can get in trouble for it. I mean, technically, it isn't my business, but if they're doing stuff that's bullshit, I mean, if they're committing bullshittery, then I think that they need to be called out on it. Hmm. It could be. It could be. That could be the truth too. That could be the thing. But like I said, if they're, it's like what was said before. If that barn was finished on the inside, like they say it is, where are the pictures of it? Well, she has to be receiving money from them. It could. I agree with Trin on that. I mean, you can hire, but the thing is, I want to see permits. Now you got me asking when we sitting here talking about this. I want to see permits. I want to see permits that have been approved by a building inspector. I can't believe that that condominium is finished on the inside. I can't believe that they actually did that work without having permits. I mean, you have to. If you ever watch Homes on Homes, that's the first thing he asks those. The first thing he asks those people. That's the first thing that Mike Holmes asks them. Did the contractor that you hire have permits? Because you have to have permits for structure, you have to have permits for electrical, you have to have permits for plumbing, you have to have permits for HVAC. She admitted that she kept the money. She actually admitted in her live stream that she kept the money, that none of that money was. She she admitted that the money was given to her for her and not, and that money wasn't Michelle's. That's exactly what she said. But then again, she could be lying too. Uh oh, it's clouding up out there again. Yeah, I'm sorry for yawning. I went to sleep. I went to bed last night and got woke up in the early in the morning because there was a storm that came through here. I had to get up and close the window in here because the rain was coming in. But you know what? We are really close to the 2 hour mark. I can't believe it. 5 minutes. So what I will be doing. Yeah, exactly. EMS. So what I will be doing on, I think what's going to happen is, and I've been thinking about this and doing it this way. Now I know the two fleas will probably go live tonight. So if they go live tonight, that topic will be Monday. If they go live tomorrow night, which they usually do go live on Sundays, that will be Tuesday's topic. Any days that they don't go live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the notes from the old two fleas and read those in the chat during my live streams. And the old Ray Bone Crusher and Darwin Goodson that I had back then will just may be made into videos and then will be uploaded to the Anti What the Hell's ecosystem. So that's what I'll be doing. On the days that I don't have any content from them, I will just pull out the notes from last year's and I will read from last year's in the chat. And then when I do have content from them, because it's easier to do it in a live stream than sit there and have to make a video. And anyway, I rather do it as a live stream so I can see the people's reaction, you know. And then, like I said, the old Ray Bone Crusher and Darwin Goodson stuff would just be made into videos and be uploaded to the Anti What the Hell's ecosystem playlist. Yeah, and they will definitely go live tomorrow, which I will catch their stuff, which will be the topic on Tuesday. But I know that they go live on Tuesday, so that would be the topic on Wednesday. But I don't think they go. I don't think that they actually go live on Wednesdays. But it depends. I'm gonna put the newer content out there first. So I will put the newer content out there first, and then and if I don't get a chance to put the older, I will just make videos out of it and just post it to the Anti What the Hell's ecosystem. Uh, while I was listening to Spawn today, the videos have been uploaded and scheduled for this coming up week. So the schedule with that is my tech videos will be just uploaded until they're all done, and then I can move on. That's right. We can talk about anything that we want. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of talk. On the days that I don't have content from them, I could go back on their old live streams and talk about the notes. We could talk about anything that we want on this channel. That's why I leave the chat open. That's why I leave the chat open for anybody that wants to talk about anything, as long as it doesn't get me struck. So, it's like I said, this week's videos have already been uploaded and scheduled. So now I don't have to worry about that. I can concentrate on doing my thing. So, so this is how the live stream schedule is during the week. So, and I'm not gonna fuck this up. I fucked up a couple times before. Um, so what I stream Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time, my time, and that would be 4 o'clock Eastern Time. On Saturdays, I live stream at 4 o'clock Central Time, which would be 5 o'clock Eastern Time. And I don't live stream normally on Sunday unless something comes up, because that's my day off. You know what? Yes, we can do trivia. So that would be the thing for Saturday. We'll do trivia on Saturday, even if it's for an hour or so. You know. So that's a good idea. So I will bring back trivia Saturday. So Saturday's live stream will just be trivia. And doesn't that dog ever shut up? Yeah, because you kind of get tired of talking about, you know, you sit here and you do live streams like I do every day. But even though, what people don't realize is even if you guys are the only ones in here, you're still building up my watch time hours. Yeah, I don't think that dog is happy, or he or she is just doing their job. So it depends. I think most of the thing is their new content will be a topic on here, and the old stuff I will just sit and make videos and just post it to the anti what the hell's ecosystem um, playlist. I mean, I could sit there and punch out videos, no problem. Did we? If he did, he passed by here real fast. We can do that. I just right now. I just want. Right now, I'm just taking it slow. I mean, to have to come back from what I went through. Yeah, I can change the title to Saturday Trivia or something like that. And I did talk with Muscle Lady, and she said what was going on. I said what was going on because I was kind of feeling bad. I was kind of feeling upset and pissed off about something. And she said the problem is we just need to get this channel back out there. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the channel put back out there. Okay. We actually hit the 2 hour mark, which is good. I don't know the reason why it was actually going 2 hours. Nobody actually explained it to me, but um, yes, and she's so funny and so sweet. All right, everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I mean, we got past the 2 hour mark today, so I'm gonna call this. Um, to me, successful live stream. Uh, Now, don't you guys? For one thing, if you're watching this in the rewatch, please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to this channel and you like the content that's on this channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification. Because when you hit that notification, that lets you know when a new video has been uploaded and when I go live streaming. So you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will see some of you during the week again. I will see some of you on the weekend. I mean, I will see most of you during the week again. And Trin, I know I'll see you on Saturday. So you all have a wonderful rest of your week, a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will see you guys on Monday for those that come in during the week. You all have a good one. And for God's sakes, behave yourselves.